self-deceit or self-deception, how we deceive ourselves into believing certain things, it kills, steals, and destroys in our life. Hi, Dr. Dan here, and I guide students to be smart about higher education and live a life that matters. It's the Wisdom for the Week video, and it's part one of a video that I'm going to title Self-Deceit Can Be Beat. So just imagine a high special forces military team being dropped into this remote jungle in Guatemala, and they are going to rescue some hostages, and they're led by this great hero type leader. And they get down there and they find these bizarre killings of previous soldiers that were in the area, and then one by one they start getting picked off. And these are in bizarre ways. They're not just normal shootings with a gun. They're like a big gaping hole in someone. They got run through by impaled. And so the leader of the team, his name is Dutch, he decides that, hey, this thing's going to kill us, so we have to take some offensive maneuvers in order to stop this, because otherwise he's going to wipe all of us out one by one. So what they do is they set up this perimeter, put some kind of line around there that would indicate if it was tripped that something was in the area. So this thing is, the local natives, they call it a ghost. They're aware of this thing or whatever is out there that kills people and kills soldiers, and they think it's a ghost. So there is nothing to dispute that at this point, because nobody's seen this thing. So you don't see it, you don't know where it's coming from, and all of a sudden people are dying. So the guys are lined up, they've got the perimeter set up, and all of a sudden the line gets tripped. The guns start flashing, and they're just blowing these guns off, and they shoot all their ammo. And they check around, and there's nothing. They don't see anything. So Dutch, the hero, comes in, checks it out a little bit closer. He sees that there's some blood. It's a bizarre looking blood, but there's blood on this leaf. And so a pivotal point right here at the beginning, near the beginning of the movie, is Dutch makes the comment, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." Now, that's my impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's the hero in this movie. And if you're aware of some movies or whatever, you like that type, this movie was called The Predators way back in 1987, but it's one of my favorite metaphor movies because it's just such a good metaphor for a lot of stuff. So we're going to use that as a metaphor for self-deceit and seeing how those parallel, and there's a lot of parallels there. So like the predator that was invisible and you kind of don't know where it's coming from, self-deceit or self-deception, how we deceive ourselves into believing certain things, it kills, steals, and destroys in our life. And I look at it, we're going to cover three forms. There's many ways that this happens, but three ways that we'll talk about here is denial. One would be denial, another one would be overconfidence, and another one would be confabulation, which is a fancy word for saying that we kind of make up this story, and it's so real to us that we believe it, but nobody else really knows about it. It's kind of the king without, the ruler without clothes. Everybody else here thinks I'm naked, but I don't believe it. I got clothes on. I'm the ruler that has clothes on. So that's kind of confabulation, what confabulation is. So we get back to Arnold. So he set up that trap, found out if it bleeds, we can kill it. So many times the denial, the getting overwhelmed, and the overconfidence, the confabulation is all kind of coping mechanism. It's something we want to believe, and it's something we're trying to avoid. So we're trying to either avoid fear of failure or looking bad, or any number of things. So that's the kind of self-deception we put ourselves into. But once we understand that we can defeat this thing, whatever we're trying to cope and deal with, we can defeat it. But it's going to take some work. So there's a proverb that says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life." And so the bleeding is kind of a dream fulfilled. We had our hope deferred. We kind of push this off, and we're deluded, we're deceived, we have self-deceit. But if we get a little bit of hope, it kind of opens up some dreams that we can maybe defeat this thing. So we want to get hope by persevering, getting real, and taking action. So that key step is taking action. Take those first steps and get some action into your life. And the way we do that is we have to move forward some way. Take a small victory, get a small victory, a small win for yourself, and taking action. So now we get to this movie, back to the movie. There's Dutch, there's Arnold. It gets along in the movie. The Predator, he ends up killing everybody. So he just wipes them all out, except Dutch. Dutch manages to escape him, but he's barely living. Remember, he can't see this thing. He doesn't know how to attack it. He knows it bleeds. He knows he can kill it, but he's run out of ammo. He can't see it, and this thing is gaining ground on him. It's got a high-tech weaponry. It can shoot him from afar. It can overpower him because it has, you know, there's been hand-to-hand combat and killing the other soldiers that are there. So he knows this thing is a formidable foe, and he just doesn't know what to do except run at this point. So he's running, he's avoiding it, but he's about to be caught. He comes to this cliff. So there's a cliff in life that we all come to. Comes to this cliff, and he knows he doesn't want to be caught by the alien, because this alien, what they saw before, he tortures his prey. He gets delight in seeing them suffer. So he decides, I'm looking down over this cliff. There's a stream down there. Now, I don't know if the stream is 1 foot deep or 20 feet deep, but I'm going to take my chances because I'd rather die that way than have this thing kill me. So he jumps in. He jumps over the cliff. A lot of times we have to jump over a cliff, get really uncomfortable in order to start to take action to overcome this self-deceit. So he jumps over there, survives it. The water's deep enough. So he's totally exhausted. He thinks, oh, finally got away from this thing. Crawls up onto the shore. He's barely got enough energy to crawl up on the shore. He's got mud all over him because he was crawling. He didn't walk out of the pond. He's crawling, and he's just laying there resting, and all of a sudden he hears a splash in the background. And the splash is the Predator. So Arnold crawls a little bit more, hangs up inside of these branches. Maybe it's a last-ditch attempt so that this thing might not see them, but he's been able to see them every other part of the movie. So he's just kind of hung out to dry. He doesn't have a gun, he can't shoot it, and he knows he can't beat it one-on-one, so he's just sitting there. But he's got mud all over him. So the Predator comes out of the water. The one thing is, now he doesn't have his cloaking device on anymore, and Arnold can see the Predator. He knows what he's dealing with. Secondly, this is the second pivotal point. Secondly, the alien can't see him. So we know that he now knows that he's got a shot. Now, the point being, to end part one here, is that self-deceit does not rest. It will continue to come after you. But you've got to persevere. Even though it seems like you've given up hope, it's the last-ditch attempt. Keep persevering. You can start to see how you can break down this self-deceit. So tune in next week to see how the self-deceit is defeated, just like the Predator was defeated. If you saw the end of the movie, I'm giving away the end of the movie, but if you saw the end of the movie, Arnold did win in this instance. But we'll talk a little bit more about that, and it's a long-term battle. So self-deceit can be beat, and all we need at first is to get a little bit of hope. So if this video was helpful to you, if you liked it, put some comments down there. Tell me what the predators are in your life. What have you been able to overcome? And or some of the things that are still predators to you that you have a difficulty overcoming. And a lot of people are telling you this, but you're kind of believing this. Now, sometimes you've got to discern what's good and what's bad, and just because everybody's saying something doesn't necessarily mean that's true either. So there's things about that. But next week we'll talk about some things like that. So this week, just leave your comments, subscribe to my YouTube channel, look me up on Facebook, and like me, follow me, and you'll get these updates. Sign up on my website to get these videos on a regular basis. And I also wrote an eZine article at ezine.com so that you can read my insights on this on there. So this is Dr. Dan. Know where you're going in life. Become the person you were destined to be and make a difference in the world. Self-deceit, confronted, loses the power to kill us from the past and with regrets, to steal from us in the present, and to rob us of hope for the future and destroy our future.